So I know in our when we do our happy hour, our goal is to have the speaker tell their story.
Yeah.
What is your goal for me today? Just so I'm aware.
Wait, let me do this here first. Let's roll. Well, what's your question?
Oh, are we on right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we cut this out?
Yeah, let's do.
Okay.
What's up?
What's
How
up?
you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing? Sorry, I didn't know we were on yet. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. What a wonderful time we have with, you're inviting someone new into the world, and
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be here with you today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being in my world again as
Happy
well.
to be here. Happy to be here.
What was your question? You asked me when you invite someone over, the first thing is to hear their story. So, what's your story?
So, I'm gonna take this back to when I was a little kid. First off, where I am today is I'm a real estate investor in Cleveland, Ohio. I have some great folks that are in my life and some amazing connections and relationships. And I'm so blessed to be where I'm at today. But where I started off was a young kid in Buffalo, New York. And I go back to my dad working on houses all the time. And there was one thing I didn't like to do is I didn't like to participate in the work. I hated it. It wasn't my thing. My sisters liked doing it though. And it's funny now, 25 years later, 30 years later, I'm doing exactly that. I'm doing the work in the houses. I used to hate it as a kid, but now as an adult, it's my thing. It's what I love to do. So that's in short. That's kind of what I'm doing today.
What is your favorite thing to do in a house?
My favorite thing to do in a house. Well, I go back when I first started doing real estate 7 years ago, and I was picking up hammers. I was gutting the kitchens. I was gutting the bathrooms.
That's always fun.
You know what it's like. I remember the first time I did a window. Oh my gosh, it took me 6 hours to install a window. And it took me 6 hours to do. And then the next time I had to do a window, it took me 4 hours. And then it took me 2 hours. And before you knew it, I could do a window in 45 minutes. So my favorite thing to do, though, is probably not pick up the hammers anymore. My favorite thing to do is try to use my brain and think through things and find great deals and give people opportunities to improve these properties and turn properties around. That's my favorite thing to do now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what do you attribute your motivation for real estate? Like, what made you step into that world from getting on the hammer to investing in properties now?
We have a mutual friend,
Yeah.
Sheen Ford, and Sheen's gonna listen to this and he's gonna laugh. And he's gonna be like, "You always love to tell this story," but I remember 7 years ago, we're at the gym working out. You work out, I work out. Sheen really works out. Okay?
Yeah.
He's the
does.
strongest guy we know, and he's a great guy. And he's talking about real estate, and he's saying that he bought a property and he's going to buy another one. And I said, "Well, I'm going to do that too, of course." And he said, "Oh yeah?" He said, "Go do it then. Go to the bank and get a loan." And I said, I felt challenged. I said,
Yeah.
"Okay, sure, I will." So I went either that day or the next day, and I got a loan. And I took that loan. I bought a property in Lakewood, which is right down the road from us, right here. And it was a duplex on Ethel in Lakewood, right by the Lakewood Truck Park. And I fixed that up. I fixed up one unit. I fixed up the next unit. And before you knew it, I had a really nice property. And that was kind of what got me started with it. That's where it came from. And that was the motivation behind it. And then before you knew it, I was like, "Hey, maybe I should buy another property." That wasn't that bad. And then I was ready for another property and another property. And before you know it, you're figuring things out and how to grow. And that's kind of what's led to where I'm at today. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, no, I
was
love
going
that.
on a tangent,
Absolutely.
but that was kind of the backstory of how I got started in real estate.
Yeah.
It was really just a friend, kind of
Challenging.
me. Friend in a friendly way, of course.
I love that. I feel like that really shows how much your peer group really influences you. So that ties into my question then. How do you keep the people around you that gonna uplift you in your real estate career?
The people that uplift my real estate career, it's so wild. It's ever changing. The people that uplifted today, of course, is my partner Paul Smetona, who I just think the world of. He's incredibly talented, and my other partner Jack Mitchell, who I also think the world of. He's incredibly talented, both in their own ways.
Absolutely.
Both, and you know them both very
I
well.
can vouch for it.
Yeah, you can vouch for that. They're just really great guys.
Yeah.
They kind of keep me motivated and going. And honestly, Felipe, like seeing the growth of the people around me and my own growth, and we all care about each other. And you want to see me grow, and I want to see you grow, and finding opportunities for each other. Those are the things that really keep me growing. But it's just my friends, and like this is so organic. This thing that we have going in Cleveland with this group of folks we have, it's very organic. We all really care about each other. We all want to see each other make good decisions and grow.
Absolutely.
That's it. I mean,
It's the best feeling to see someone around you grow just by being around you as well. I feel like that's really great.
I want to have a question for you.
Yeah, please.
Because, the first time that you and I met, we were at 1428 West 85th Street,
Yes.
over near Gordon's Green, right down the road from here. And we were looking at a property. That was the first time we had met. You had long hair, it looked great. I like hair now. Long hair was great. And, I'm going to say the same question for you. I know you have guys you work with and guys that you have led. How has that affected your own growth, having guys underneath you that you're trying to teach?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like there's two sides to that coin. I feel like there's maybe three.
Okay.
Having people around us that we aspire to be, that we challenge each other, and that we can teach. I feel like these three things are very fundamental for my friendship ecosystem. And I feel like it inspires and you aspire for, someone who's down the road, they've done the thing, and now you want to retribute and teach someone else. And at the same time, you have a peer that you're competing against. Maybe you're wrestling, maybe you're lifting weights, working out, buying houses, whatever it is. I feel like having these three levers to be pulled by the people around you, it's really important.
That's like you touched on that, like the people around you that you surround yourself with, and we hear everybody talk about that, how important that is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that for me has been so incredible. Like and I'm name dropping because I love these people. I want to see these people succeed, and vice versa.
Please.
But Adam Craig is a guy that has just been instrumental in my growth. He answers all my questions, even when they were so silly. I didn't know how to do a lease or something crazy. And he walked me through even the most simple tasks when at the time he had 60 properties and he's busy as heck and he's got a family. And Adam's a commercial real estate guy who, is a very dear friend of mine. Obviously, Paul Smetona, who I mentioned, he's another guy. Tal Tamir is a new friend of mine. We became friends over the last year, but I think the role of Tal, he's so great at what he does. Tal is a guy that will syndicate big apartment deals and take them down with his wife Lauren and his team. And they do such a great job. But I was able to go to Adam's house last Saturday night. He had Paul, Tal, and myself over for dinner, and it was lovely. It was great. It was folks in the same room that have the same passion, the same desire, and really just want to talk about what they're doing and share the stories of what they're doing and congratulate each other and have a toast to each other. And those are the rooms that I want to be in. If I have a problem, I can share my problem, my real estate problem or my business problem. And I've got three other guys that are going to say, this is maybe what I would do in that situation. And that type of advice goes the longest way. It's great.
Yeah. You got to surround yourself to people that you look forward to. Yeah. And what do you observe that these people, they have in common? What does it take to be a successful real estate entrepreneur, investor?
I would say it takes a level of taking action and drive. This stuff can be really hard. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It can be very stressful, and sometimes you need to just put everything aside and go for a hike.
Yeah.
Or go to Florida like I'm doing on Thursday and just release yourself from the stress that can pile up. But what do I think it takes? I think it takes a certain level of crazy. There's a huge learning curve, right? There's a huge learning curve that, you almost can't see the summit of the mountain. And you still have to know that you need to get to the summit, even though you can't even see it because it's a cloudy day. And it's that craziness, that drive to succeed. that gets you there. And so that's kind of what I would say it is. You know,
I love that.
what do you think it is? I mean, what I'm going to throw this back on you. You have been. I've seen some of your work. It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And what do you think has given you the drive to go from where you first started to where you are today?
That's a great question. I think that for me personally, definitely being an immigrant plays a big role in my life. I feel like I can't mess around. I'm here on a mission. I am always a man on a mission. And I believe that my major drive comes from when I do well, the people around me do well. And I like to take the responsibility of as much as I can. And if that means for my family, for my wife, for my friends, whatever I can do that uplifts me, because I'm in a position that I know so many people that I can help, I believe I should help them. So that is my main drive.
Where does that come from? Was that something that you were taught? Or did you
Maybe
just acquire
that's
that mentality?
maybe that's a value.
Was it something your dad taught you, or?
Yeah, that providership.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, that need for providing. My dad had 5 kids, and his wife and the lady that took care of the house and his kid that he was all taken care of. So it's a big provider for sure. My dad always was.
And now look at you. I mean, your wife just stopped through here, and you're having your first here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really it's exciting, man. It's very exciting times.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And my dad's coming in Tuesday, and I'm very excited to see him.
Wow. Coming from Brazil?
Exactly, from Brazil.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
How long is he gonna be here for?
Few months.
Okay.
Yeah. 2-3 months.
How often do you see your dad?
Not that often. That's gonna be his 3rd time here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I feel like that feels often. Every 2 to 3 years.
I think that
sounds good.
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably have a lot to catch up on when he does come
Exactly. Well, we talk every day for an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's what
Every day.
Do you have like a scheduled time slot?
No, well, maybe every other day now that I have a kid coming.
Well, what like right now it's like 5:30 here, or 6, it's like 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What time is it in Brazil right now?
It's an hour difference.
That's it?
Yeah.
Are they an hour ahead or
an hour ahead? Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so that's not bad, and that actually brings into like a point that I wanted to bring up too, which is like how do you achieve success in leveling up and growing? And I've heard people say that every 90 days you should level up, you should grow to some capacity. You need to continually grow, and shed that old skin and build that new skin.
Yeah.
Scheduling ahead and being organized with your time. So important. Just as I walked in here, we're talking about things that we have to do. I mean, our entire days, I'm sure, are planned out and organized, and that's a big way to get ahead. But I said, hey, I've got to be somewhere at 6:30, and you said, well, great, I have to be somewhere right after that. And having your day scheduled and organized is just so important, so that you're not wasting time.
Yeah.
Time is a valuable asset, and when you're really, really busy, how quick can 2 weeks go by?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye. It's like it feels like yesterday was 2 weeks ago, and a month will go by like that too. So, organization and scheduling is
that's huge. That's
huge part.
Do you have any other habits that you stack up and help you achieve your daily goals or tasks? How do you approach your goals? How do you set goals, and how do you?
So, I think I'll kind of talk about where I'm at today, and then talk about my goals and how I do those goals. Today, I have my real estate license, and between my partnerships and and my own properties, we probably have somewhere around 40 or 50 doors in the Cleveland market.
That's awesome.
We've done a lot of flips. Some have been sold off, and a lot of those properties are flips. I'm not sole owner on most of those properties. But most of those properties we acquired in the last 6 months. We did that very quickly.
That's awesome.
We've been very scrappy with our money and our funds, and we have great partners, folks that fund that flip. We think the world of. And so our goal is over the course of the next year, we've done 40 doors in 6 months. Well, in 12 months, we want to do over 100. and it's going to take a lot of ingenuity and strength and determination and teamwork to get that done. My long-term goals are to be a complete entrepreneur. I want to be, Paul Smatona and I have said, and I'm going to throw Jack in there too, because I know Jack is such an integral part of what we do.
Yeah.
But we want to be some of the biggest investors in Cleveland, and obviously that's a stretch goal. But you know, you got to set a stretch goal, and then how do I set those goals, and how do I work on my habits? I set those goals by saying I always start where I want to be 30 years from now. So in 30 years from now, I'm 34. I would love to be retired. I would love to be focusing on my nieces, my nephews, my own children, my own family. Maybe I have grandchildren at that point in time. I don't think I will. But maybe I will at that point. I don't know. I might be a 75-year-old grandpa. But I want to focus on that and watching, just like we talked about growth. I mean, I want to watch these people that I care about so much grow. And my friends and their children, I want to watch them grow. And whether that's, you know, lending them a hand with something, or helping finance something, or just being there to tell them I love them, that's going to be really important for me. So starting with that mindset, I take it back 10 years to when I'm 55 or 54. Where do I need to be at 54? And then where do I need to be at 44? And then where do I need to be today at 34? And today, I need to have my mind right.
Yeah.
I need to be making really good choices, because I think that those choices are going to put me in the right direction for where I'm going to go. And I think one of the most important things that you can do is wake up early. And just like that famous admiral said, is like, make your bed. Like, start off the day with like something great.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do the same thing. But start off the day with something great, and then without getting too specific, just make sure that your day is filled with momentum. Like, always build on momentum. Like, if something really great happens, like, something else great should happen, and like, you should achieve something else, and like, fill your day up with momentum, and by the end of the day, you're gonna sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How do you feel about that?
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, the momentum is huge. Yeah, making your bed the first thing in the morning, it sets the motion, it sets the patterns in motion, and having a routine and having those habits that you can reliably count on. For me, a big one is cold showers. Yeah, yeah. I also got Paul hooked into cold showers because he saw the benefits of just waking up, jumping into the shower.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do anything bad with your body. You just want to keep, you just feel so fresh, so energized. You don't want to ruin it.
Wait, can we unpack cold showers a little bit? And like that type of improving yourself. What's up, sweetie? This is Salami. Hey, Salami. What? Okay, so how do you do it? Like, what do you put it as cold as it can go?
As cold as you can take,
yeah.
I would say. Yeah, just start incrementally.
I gotta get Salami out of here.
Yeah, Salami is...
Salami is part of this thing.
She is part of it.
Sit.
I just...
She's gonna come back.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I just embrace. Salami, sit. She's in play mode.
She's so cute. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah, so like, how do you do that with, like, the cold shower? Like,
yeah.
First of all, walk me through exactly the process of, do you just jump right into it? How long are you in there for? How cold is it? And then, like, what does it do for you?
Yeah, so cold showers, they definitely wake you up. They definitely will do that.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, and I feel like if you definitely need some mental preparation for it, whether that's the water running right by your feet, if you want to incrementally do it, if you want to just jump right into it, there's days and days, right? Some days you want to have a little bit of warm shower, and then you switch it up and you just stand there, and that's fine too. Okay. But
do you just jump right in, or do you dip your toe? Like, how do you? What's
there's days and days. Okay. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I only
every
take
day.
Yeah.
And
I'm not David Goggins, okay? But I definitely make sure to, at least at the end of it, just like staying there for a minute and just gets my spirit elevated, right? It just gets me going, some more drive, some more. It's a little bit of a dopamine reset, right? Okay. It's doing something hard.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing something hard, like what would you say then on your growth? So like you guys exploded, right?
We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying.
No, you guys buying now 5 properties a month or a week or something crazy like that?
This week we're closing on, well, we're supposed to close. Okay. Hopefully, fingers crossed, sometimes things don't work out, but we're supposed to close on 11 doors this week. 4 properties. and that would be just outstanding. If we can achieve that, sometimes they fall through the cracks, but
That's crazy.
yeah.
What were some of the challenges that you faced and that taught you the lessons to be where you are right now?
100%. I never understood what type of stress levels people go through in dealing with things. Like, just like we only have so much time in a day, like our brain can only handle so much stress. And I think other folks versus, other folks some people are better at it. Some people's brains are like better at dealing with just like tons of information flowing through and making tons of decisions. But that kind of stuff will really bog you down. So I think like that has been something to work on, like managing stress and realizing that it's almost not even real. Like I think if you can kind of visualize that stress is like it's made up, it's fake, it's a game. I think that does help. So like taking a time to like meditate and just like resting your brain is like a huge factor, I think, in growth. Also like just the nuts and bolts of it, like the financing aspect, like finding great partners to work with that will help you take these deals down. And then there's the component of actually finding the deals. I mean, we just have some great partners in, the Capital Growth Group. Just love those guys. They're just good friends. And like, those guys, they're awesome. And like, they send us deals and we're always working on their deals. And we just like love partnering with those guys because their energy's great and they're awesome at working. So yeah, I think getting the deals, dealing with the stress and working with the financing, bam, if you can take all that stuff down, you can be successful in real estate. That's my I said it here now in August of 2023.
Nice.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty appropriate. What are some projects that you guys are looking forward to?
We close out a really exciting project this week, and I'd love to share the way it went down. It's in Old Brooklyn, Ohio, which maybe we're biased, but we think that there are parts of Cleveland, Ohio that are some of the best markets in the country. I mean, you can still buy properties right now for $75,000 in Cleveland. You can fix them up with 15 to 20 grand, and you can turn around and sell them for 130, 140. We've done it. We do it often, and that's a very impressive spread. That's the type of spread doesn't land everywhere. This property that we're closing on the 24th is it's 2 quads. So there are two separate buildings. They're both 4 units. They both have a storefront and 3 apartments up top. They're a block away from each other in Old Brooklyn. Again, we think Old Brooklyn's great. We're excited because we got a really nice appraisal on it. It's cash flowing really well as it is. The owner had it for 15 years. He took pretty good care of the properties, but there's a lot of upside here. We can get the rents up. We can improve the properties by doing some rehabs on the units. And one of the storefronts we're going to turn into our own office for our own real estate office. So that's going to be really exciting. Well, we have to have a central location. We have so many moving parts now. I think we have 7 guys on our team, 7 folks. So we need to be in a central location where we can really start to optimize our energy levels.
Your intel.
Yeah, and that's going to be so exciting. We're going to be able to streamline what we're doing. We're going to be able to forecast, hey, we need to get this color paint. We need to get vinyl flooring, this color. We need to get windows, whatever. We can start to stock that stuff and just have our contractors come and pick it up. And when you're able to stock stuff, you can, if there's volume discounts, and it really it streamlines us. So that's a really exciting project we have coming up that we're closing on this week. We're excited.
That's awesome. Can
I ask you the same thing?
Yeah.
What's going on in your world? What do you have working on? Aside from maybe the best podcast ever, what's in the future for you right now?
Yeah. That's a good question. I am really excited for the podcast and be putting myself out there a little more, sharing what I've learned, sharing what other people have been through, and creating community for me is a huge aspect.
Bringing
people together and spreading the information and introducing these people to my circle as well. So that for me is huge right there. I'm excited now to, of course, have a baby. Honestly, I can't think of much else besides that.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
But with Flow Renovations, we are excited to take on some projects and get started investing. There's a property that you and Paul and I have been talking about. Yeah,
we know about a property. Yeah,
we know
do.
about a property, and I'm really excited about that and be working with you guys as well. So that'll be huge because I definitely look up to you and Paul, and you are a great guy. Paul's been a great mentor for me as well, and I'm really excited for the learning, for the growth.
Yeah.
I think that's 90% of the reason why I do anything nowadays is just to learn, just to acquire more skills and make myself more valuable to the people around me. So
that's really, yeah, and I'm honored that you had me even come on here. I know one of the things that we had talked about was like the ability to learn.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but I'm thinking about what's helped me get to this point. I think it takes a certain level of like mental toughness. Hey, sweetie. And I go back. I was a walk-on at the University of Buffalo. Basketball.
Sorry, what did you say?
I was a walk-on the basketball team.
Walk-on?
A walk-on, meaning that, so we have Division I schools have scholarships to offer for their student athletes. Basically, you're such a sweet daughter. I do love you.
Yeah.
Basically, Division I schools give you a scholarship and then you go to school for free.
Drop it. We need to have a salami intermissions here. Salami.
Oh, you'll cut this out?
Maybe.
All right, don't even cut it out. Hey. See you, salami.
Salami, stay right there. Sorry. We'll talk later. She looks so sad.
She looks so sad.
No. Sorry, Salami. Sit.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Stay there. So
Scholarships.
they have college basketball teams and college football teams. There's a certain level of colleges that have they give you scholarships, so you go to school for free. Some kids, they'll let one or two guys on the team that don't have a scholarship. They're called walk-ons, and it's a really nice thing to be on these teams. People want to be on the teams. They're high level of sports. And I was a walk-on at the University of Buffalo. They said you can be on the team, but you can't have a scholarship.
Gotcha.
And I said, okay, well, maybe I'll do that. And these guys were all very talented athletes that I was playing with. And so I walked on the basketball team. When you're a walk-on, you're not really treated the best because you're not expected to be any good. And that's fair. But you're supposed to work really hard. Maybe be the hardest worker with like no benefit almost, aside from being on the team.
Yeah.
So that's what I did for 3 years. I worked my tail off, and I just was a really good teammate, and I tried to be at least. And I ended up becoming a starter. I had a wonderful college basketball coach, a few of them, Turner Battle, Jim Quitchoff, Reggie Witherspoon, and Kevin Heck. And they were just wonderful guys, and I still look up to these guys. They're like fathers to me. And I became a starter, which is very rare, as a walk-on, and I started for almost an entire season, and they gave me a scholarship. And then my senior year, they let me start for most of the season, and I also had a scholarship. And it was a really good experience because it taught me to overcome adversity and to just focus on being a really good teammate. Mm-hmm. Kind of what we're talking about, like helping other people grow. Like that was my focus. Like I just wanted to be a good teammate. And in my senior year, I was the captain on the team. And that just meant the world to me. And that was just a lot of hard work, kind of them seeing it and a nice opportunity. So I look at that and like, if I can get through that, like I almost feel like I can get through anything. Like that was hard. And I feel like guys that go through, you came here from Brazil. I mean, I'm sure you think you got to think the same thing. If I can come to America from Brazil, I mean, that's really impressive. What can't you do?
Right.
That's the way I know that's the way we think. Otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here right now. So.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but where I was going with that was the learning component. Mm-hmm. And young guys, I mean, you remember being 20, right? Like
5 years ago.
Come on, you're really? That's amazing. You remember being 15. All right, I was
right.
And when you're a young person, you don't know what you don't know yet. You kind of think you know like more than you do. And you start to realize that you just need to learn. And there are people that have been through what you're going through, and they know more than you.
Yeah.
You just have to admit it sometimes. It's okay. And I really appreciate folks that are younger than me. They just want to learn. And they want to listen, and they want to have some humility and like not act like they know everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of my tricks growing up, if there was somebody I wanted to learn from, I would, and they were telling me something that I already knew the answer to, I would literally just act like I didn't know what they, right? You know, you're smiling. I would act like I didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I want them to teach me. I want them to feel really good about it. So they keep teaching me. Because 90% of the stuff they teach me, I'm not going to know. 10% sure I'll know, but I'm going to act like I don't know that. I want them to get a rise out of teaching me. And I think that's a really good way. Just like you find a good mentor, you've got to be a good mentee as well.
Yeah. How do you take your learning then to real estate? How do you like to learn real estate specifically and investing in?
I know there's a lot of things I don't know.
Yeah.
Even today I'm dealing with something that we're not going to be able to close on a property because of a lien situation. So I had breakfast with a good friend of mine, Brad Dumas, and Brad said, "Hey, why don't you just take the amount that they owe in liens and just put it in an escrow account, and that money can be released once they cover their liens up, once they clear their liens." And I said, "Oh, that was really smart."
Yeah.
So I called my lawyer and I said, "Hey, lawyer, Nolan James, another investor, he's phenomenal." I said, "Hey, Nolan, what do you think about this?" And he said, "That's exactly what I was going to do." So now we're going down this path. I'd never even heard of doing that to try to get through liens. And, you know, that was something very new today that I had to rely on some other people for. And they gave me the right answer. Another situation, I think about my guy, Adam Craig, and he says he loves commercial real estate. And I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
But Adam's such a nice guy that he walked me through buying my first commercial building. It's
Lovely.
It's an office building in Waycliffe, Ohio. It's an old doctor's office. And it's, I think, like 2,500, 3,000 square feet. It's got like 9 little office rooms in it, whatever you want to call them. And, you know, I've got my guys out there right now. We're painting, we're cleaning it out. We're going to get it ready to try to list and run it. And Adam's kind enough to walk me through how to do it. In fact, the reason I bought this building is because of the price per square foot on the building. Adam said, target a building that's at $40 a square foot. Again, this is simple stuff. Maybe there's someone listening to this that uses cap rates and all this, you know, sophisticated stuff. But he said, just keep it easy. Target $40 a square foot for something retail. So I did. I tried to get as close to 40 as I could in my offer, and I used seller financing on the deal. And I wouldn't be able to do it without Adam. And if I wasn't a good learner and I didn't listen to what he had to say, I wouldn't be here. He wouldn't want to deal with me. But I listen and I learn, and he probably loves seeing my growth.
Yeah.
Because he's been a huge part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how can people help you with your growth right now? Where you're heading towards, you're scaling significantly. Like, what is something that can someone come out and help you even further?
At this point, I'm going to bring Paul and Jack back into this. We like dealing with people we like.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, obviously we want to get to know you. We want to, if we're going to do business with you and really actually do business with you, we want to get to know who you are, and we want to like you and do more than just talk numbers with you. And at some point, we want to have an actual relationship with you. So I think that's very important. We want to have the same North Star, I think, is the folks that we're kind of working with that want to get into our circle. Like, you know, we want to have the same morals and the same moral compass and have the same character traits and have the same visions for life. And I think that's kind of who we want to kind of get involved with and work with.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, one final question for you then.
Sure.
What does real estate mean to you?
That's such a great question. I'm gonna take a minute to answer that. When I was a kid, 7 through 18, I loved sports. It was my whole purpose in life. I'm sure you feel the same way. You have music too, but I loved sports so much. It was everything I did. And then even through college, even through the time I was 22, and then when 22 came, I said, hey, maybe sports, I'm gonna try something different. And then I was lost for 5 years. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a purpose anymore. Sports was my purpose. And it was really hard not having a purpose. You kind of just flounder through life and you make poor choices and, you know. And then when I was 27, 28, I found real estate, and I was relatively successful in it at first. And then it's my purpose now. It's what I like to do. People want to get into it, and people want to talk about it, and so do I. And yeah, that's what it means to me. It's my purpose at this point. Hopefully, it's not always my purpose. It might be.
Yeah.
I don't know. But right now, it's my purpose for the foreseeable future.
I love that. I love that. David,
Felipe,
thank you so much
thanks for having me.
being
Pleasure.
here. Awesome.
Dude, that was great. I have you, bro. Bam.
Thanks for being
How'd it
here.
go? Was it okay?
Oh my god, it was so good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Bam.
I feel like I learned a lot with you right now too. You also have really good questions. I'm like, man.
I wanted to ask you. Do you want me to ask you questions back or not? But we didn't have to. We just jumped into it. So.
No, I love that.
Was that good?
Yeah, that was great.
I mean,
If you like this video, feel free to smash that like button, subscribe for more content, and I appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you. Until the next one.